What is up, everybody? It is Jonathan from Radio Tokyo, and I wanted to go ahead and discuss this while it's actually fresh on my mind. A lot of people, if you've been on the internet today, which I don't know how it is, you haven't been because you have to be on the internet right now to hear this. But anyway, most people on the internet are aware of Nicole Arbour, at least as of today. She's actually trending on Facebook. Now, that's the first time it's ever happened with her. But I was aware of her, quite some time back. But about a month and a half or so, maybe 2 months, somewhere around there, she became really popular on the internet. By really popular, I mean, she went from having maybe 10,000 people who knew who she was and had liked her either Facebook page or YouTube or Instagram or whatever social media she happened to be on, to upwards of 500,000 in less than a month. And she was able to do that because she made a video calling out what most people consider to be fake models, and that's people that are on Instagram who take pictures of themselves in their lingerie or almost completely naked, and run them through filters on their iPhone or whatever they have, and they post them, and they're up there for free. Nicole went on to say that these people are just providing fat material for people on the internet that don't really care. Um, it was a really popular video for her to have made, and like I said, it shot her up in notoriety online. Now, excuse me, the reason it did is not because it's not specifically because she had something she wanted to say, uh, which she made a pretty valid point. But she hid it under layer upon layer upon layer of insulting people and cutting them down, and at the same time doing the exact same thing that these people are doing. By that I mean that in the video, she's okay. First off, if you don't know what Nicole Arbour looks like, she's tall, she's thin, she has blonde hair, big eyes, big breasts. She's really attractive. She really is. But she was purposely displaying herself in a bra and, grabbing her breast and manipulating them specifically to try and emphasize the way that quote unquote Instagram models look. And that's actually one of the reasons that she got so much attention, is because she's a pretty woman on the internet who is using the fact that she is attractive and she knows she's attractive to get people to listen to her. Excuse me. And it works. It really does. Sex does sell, unfortunately. However, her latest video was actually entitled Dear Fat People. Now, as someone who is not exactly a small person, I saw this and I thought, I'm just going to dislike this woman who I've generally enjoyed most of her stand-up routines that I've seen so far. And as it turns out, yeah, I kind of did unlike it because she repeated the same stereotypes over and over and over again. Well, you're too fat. You need to go lose weight. You need to exercise. Blah, 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 blah. It was nice and wonderful and all to hear it, because I know she's saying it because she's concerned, because most people who say it aren't saying it, specifically to be mean, at least in my experience. Now, I have had some people who have shamed me for being heavyset, and I know a lot of people who have been shamed for being heavyset. It happens. Fat shaming is an actual thing. That's why it's a term. It's not some made-up bullshit. But what Nicole Arbour managed to do was actually fat shame people. Now, again, even with having the best intentions, as Boogie2988 pointed out in his video response to this, she was saying things that people say when they're concerned, but she was saying it like an asshole. Now, I'm not calling Nicole Arbour an asshole, but I am saying that, yes, she did say some very dickish things in this video. She said some very hurtful things. One of them was to point out that there was a family who was all heavyset who had a fat child. And the fat child, according to her story, sat beside her on an airplane, and he was so fat that she decided to call him Jabba the Sun, And according to her, Jabba the Son was so fat that he was actually kind of going over the arm of his of the arm between the chairs, and was physically in her lap even though he was in her chair. That shit's not funny, Nicole. That's not funny, Nicole, and anyone else who says that. That's that's kind of mean. We're talking about a kid who may not have been raised with having, access to food and everything that would be helpful to him. His parents may not have understood, hey, I might want to do something to help my child. Okay, we're talking about most of the times in childhood obesity, that's what it is. Most people don't understand that when you have a lack of the correct nutrients and everything, your body actually does start to metabolize things differently. It's a known fact at this point in time. For example, if you eat like a lot of French fries or rice or pasta or anything like that, your body will start to metabolize that and make it into sugar, and that sugar becomes fat. Eating pasta and French fries, stuff like that, will make you fatter. Now, if you go out and run a lot or you get a lot of exercise, you may have a little more um, adaptability to that. But some people don't. Some people can't. And in today's society, where it's a lot easier to go to McDonald's or to eat processed food, you're getting things that are not exactly there for you all the time. Now, again, because of today's society we live in, it's a lot more common to see a parent just get, whatever they can at the store and bring it home, bring it to the kids, and they eat it, even if they're on food stamps or even if they're on some kind of um, support program to help them raise their child. That's still what they get. The healthiest meal a child may get may actually be at school, and a lot of times that's actually processed food too. Uh, that's because we have a very fast-paced society where we have to do this and we have to do this and we have to do this and we have to do this, and everything has to be so quick, and people don't often have times to sit down with their kids and say, hey, this is what you need to do and this is why. And part of that reasoning, at least as far as school goes, one thing that would actually help is, all these years people said, well, we need to bring back uh, PE classes. We need to let the kids run out and play. But it's the same people who said for years and years and years, I don't want my kid going outside to play because my kid might get hurt. My kid might get picked on. All we have done is make an enclosed environment that's feeding on itself, and it's bad for our kids. Okay? It's bad to the point that a woman who is getting views on the internet because she's attractive and is saying, well, look at me, I'm smart, I'm attractive, and I'm making you listen to me because of those reasons. She's picking on someone who's fat, who she doesn't understand why he may have the problem that he does. Now, I'm not saying, it's bad to pick on people all the time. I'm actually really against bullying. At the same time, I understand bullying is necessary. We need a society that is capable of advancing itself through having, competition. We need, someone to say, I'm better than you for insert reason here, and you need to step up to my level. But like I said, what we have a society that has gotten so caught up in all of this that we can't pick on anybody because they're heavy set. We can't pick on anybody because they're a girl, because they're a boy, because they're tall, because they're short, because they're fat, because they have buck teeth, because they have long hair, because they're transgender, because they're gay. You can't pick on someone for anything at all. But at the same time, another portion of society says, hey, we need to be able to do that. And it's not working. Whatever the problem is, it's not working. And Nicole Arbour has definitely shown the world, the past couple of days, how much of an issue there actually is. Now, whether you agree with what I've said or what Nicole Arbour said or what anyone has had to say about this is actually important. Because the more she's talked about, the more the people who agree with her are actually going to get built up. Now, there has been a huge number of videos and statements and stuff posted on the internet, the past day or so concerning what she had to say. It's people who are looking at her and saying, no, fuck you, you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong. It's people who are making some of the most heartfelt statements they've ever made. Some people who may have never even recorded themselves speaking to other people are doing it because she motivated them to do so. That's wonderful. And in that respect, yes, she has made a change in society. But on the other end of the spectrum, as I said, the people who agree with her, the people who who like her video and share what she has to say because they agree with her, are going to become more numerous. They're going to become, their voice will become louder and louder and louder, and that's going to cause another problem. It's the same problem like we have to have PE. It's required for kids to get some kind of physical education, but we can't do that because the kid might get hurt. You know, it's a weird situation to be in, and honestly, I wish that I was smart enough to actually come up with a solution for all these problems. But I really don't think getting on the internet and using, your platform of popularity that you have reached to get on there and shame people who might not be as advantaged as you are is what needs to be done. And that's really the only thing that I can say about this that I really hope Nicole Arbour understands is yes, it's fine to say whatever you want to. It doesn't hurt anybody to say whatever you want to, because particularly in the United States, because we have freedom of speech, and that's fine. You can say whatever you want to, but whenever you get to the point where you're actually offending somebody and you're specifically saying something to hurt somebody, you need to not fucking say it. Period. Okay? That's what's wrong with the whole idea of freedom of speech. Is some people say, well, I can say whatever I want to. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yes, you can say whatever you want to. But when you're specifically degrading somebody and you're trying to insult somebody and everything, no, you might want to just reconsider it a tiny, tiny bit. And that's really what I hope she does. I really hope, if she really wants to make a change in the world, that she'll, understand that and will try and help with that instead of saying, well, I can sit up here and I can offend you all I want to. Stereotypes are funny. Black people have big dicks. Asian people are smart and good at math. This is all stuff that she said before, okay? It's all stuff that she's had to say before. And yeah, stereotypes do exist for a reason, but you know what else exists for a reason? Compassion and empathy and being nice to people around you without being insulting and hateful and derogatory toward them. Now, if I've been that way towards Nicole Arbour, I apologize. If that seems how I'm coming off to any of you about anything, I certainly do apologize. I understand, even though we probably don't have the biggest audience for Radio Tokyo in the world, we do have a job to use our platform, no matter how large or small it is, to try and help make things better, And that's kind of the reason we do our show, is because we want to express our thoughts and feelings, because we know there are people out there who like the things that we like, and we want to connect with them. So if we can help, make the world a better place, even if it's just the smallest, even if something we talk about, even if it's just me getting on here and yelling and ranting and raving about a toy or a cartoon or an actor or whatever I don't like, if I can make your day, good. If Nick can make your day, being late to get on the air or something like that, good. If Danny can be on here for, just whatever reason that you find to listen to us, if we can make your day, that's what that is all that we care about. And we hope sincerely that all of you who are listening to this, either today or listen to us in the future or have listened to us in the past and, want to go back and listen to older videos, we sincerely hope that you actually do enjoy what we put out. Because, like I said, we have that responsibility. And that's all I really think Nicole Arbour needs to understand, if she already doesn't, is that she's insanely popular and she has a responsibility to put things out there that will make society a better place, because people listen to her specifically because, and she's aware of this, as I said, she's aware that she's a beautiful woman on the internet with a platform, and instead of doing good things, she seems to want to insult people. That's really all I have to say. Thank you for listening to this. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for commenting it on it. Thank you for commenting on it, sharing it, subscribing to our YouTube channel. Please remember to like us on Facebook. Leave us a comment, send us a message. Let us know what you think. Anyway, actual Monday video is coming up tomorrow. I promise it's not going to be as heartfelt and emotional as this one is going to turn out to be. But yeah, it's going to be something much more entertaining. So keep an eye out for that. Friday show's coming up at the end of the week. Got a very busy week, everybody. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to all of you later. Bye-bye.